This is Emergent Talks. This isn't scripted. I have no idea of exactly what I'm going to say. I just take a theme that comes to me and treat it as a spontaneous exploration. So come along with this on this journey with me and let's see where it takes us. Again, I have nothing planned. I'm not trying to repeat previous ideas. I'm treating this as an exploration, a journey into novelty and the unknown. So it'll be a unique kind of talk. And the theme that just came up is the difference between awareness and attention. And I don't have a definite answer for this, but we can explore it. So it seems like, as I sense into this, that awareness is a more foundational thing, because you can say that the essence of who we are and what we are is pure awareness, pure consciousness. And then attention seems to be the focus of that awareness. So awareness focusing itself on something seems to be attention. That's what I feel from my perspective right now. I don't know if that's ultimate truth. I don't know if that's even the best definition. But that's what seems to be something. And then something that feels like could be explored is how your attention gets caught, or your attention kind of focuses or locks on to certain things, because that's an interesting dynamic. So it's like awareness is this background essence which maybe interacts or perceives through attention, that focusing, and then that attention gets like locked onto things. So what is that? And something to just feel into is, what does it feel like when something catches your attention, or your attention locks onto something? What is that feeling? And that's a difficult question. For me, I don't even really know. Sometimes it feels like things grab my attention without realizing it. And then other times it feels more like a scope with a locking mechanism. So both of the ways I describe it are two different ways, and there might be more. But sometimes it feels like you are the recipient or even the victim of it. And sometimes it feels like you're actively in it, like locking on attention to this task or this thing to focus on, or someone walked by and you're like, who is that? So things like that. But what is the feeling? And this is more of a question that doesn't need to be answered. Just think about, feel into, what is the feeling of when something catches your attention? Again, I don't have an answer for that right now, because what catches your attention guides your attention, and it's easy to get lost in it. And that's why I feel like it's so important, so crucial to remember your awareness, to be aware of your awareness, because that's what gives you the freedom, the consciousness, the ability to choose. Otherwise, you kind of just get lost in the maze, you get lost in the automatic patterns, because one thing catches your attention and you're lost in it. You might be distracted by your phone, and then someone calls you, and then you're distracted by that. And then you want to do this, and you're just like getting like pinballed without even realizing it. But if you're aware of your awareness, then the whole time, even if you're doing a task, you're aware that you're doing it. Even if you're choosing to check your phone, like, okay, I'm choosing to look at social media right now. It's a choice instead of an automatic compulsion. So that's the power of remembering your awareness or being aware of your awareness. You can always choose. And this is agency, you know? It's empowerment and sovereignty at the core fundamental level of life. That ability to be aware of what you're doing and choose. It's optionality at its core. And that's why it's so important. Because when you do that, when you're aware of your awareness, you don't necessarily need to follow a bunch of formulas and frameworks and take advice from anyone, because you're tuning in to your own inner wellspring of wisdom. And when you do that, you just know. You know what to do. You know what actually serves you. You know? Like, let's take the social media example. When you make conscious choices, like every time you check social media, it's a conscious choice. Like, I am choosing to check social media right now. If you do that every time you check social media, so much will be revealed. You'll realize your compulsions, like, I'm just doing this because I'm bored, or I'm just doing this because I care so much about if people are liking my post. I'm attached to that validation or whatever. Those things reveal themselves so quick once you're conscious about it. But also then you could use it as a tool, like, hey, I'm choosing to look at this because I want to see something funny, you know? I want a good laugh. Or I'm choosing to do this because I want to post something interesting. I want to post something that can help people or inspire people, or post something creative. You see how it upgrades even how you do things. So it kind of pulls the curtain back on the illusions and your compulsions and your automated patterns, but it also allows you to do everything with more potency, with more power. And this allows you to achieve more in life and achieve the things you really want, because you are coming from a place of agency, of sovereignty. So I love that connection of where mindfulness and inner satisfaction, fulfillment actually help you be more creative or enhance your ability to achieve what you want. And what you want is interesting, because when you're aware of your awareness and you're choosing things, then what you want might change. What you want might evolve, because you realize, like, again, the social media example, I'm just looking for validation. You know, that's the compulsion. So if you're aware of that, then it might evolve. You might want to do something else. And then being aware of that helps you navigate that higher path. So awareness, attention, I don't even know if that's the right hand symbols, because it's like awareness is everything, and then attention is the focus of awareness. Attention is awareness kind of consolidating itself. But you can also bring your attention to your awareness. You know, so that's what I mean by being aware of your awareness. Bring your attention to your awareness. And that might be a good place to start with anything, or as just an indicator for yourself, or as a practice or ritual, or just something to do as many times as you remember through the day. Just bring your attention to your awareness. Hey, there's awareness here, or I am awareness. You know, that's the core of my experience, awareness. So you bring attention to that, and then you're lucid in the dream of life. Then again, choice opens up, agency opens up, and you're better able to navigate this territory of life. Is there anything more? Anything more that wants to emerge on this exploration of awareness, attention, catching attention? The only other thing is, can attention actually be caught? Or is it just like a redirection? Because what would the shape of attention be? To me, it seems like a stream, like stream of consciousness. So is there catching of it or redirecting it? I guess you can trap water, to use water as a metaphor for it. You can kind of trap water into space, and pool it and collect it. So that could happen with attention too. But I guess what we call catching attention is more like redirecting attention in a new direction. Because reality is always changing, so it is like a stream. It appears physical, but we all know at this point that it's energy vibrating, and it only appears physical because that's how we decode it. But it really is like, reality is like a stream. It's not this fixed thing like it appears to be. So when, let's say, an advertisement catches your attention, it's more like redirecting your attention, because again, what are the shape of these things? I love contemplating that, and I'm glad this is coming up. What's the shape of it? So what's the shape of my attention? And what's the shape of whatever my attention is focused on? Because with an ad, when an ad catches your attention, it's not just, let's use a billboard as a simple example. It's not just the billboard, it's the concept of the billboard, or the concept being presented on the billboard. That's what's catching your attention. It's not the billboard itself. Let's say the billboard says, want to lose 10 pounds, and it's for like a gym or something, What catches your attention is that concept of want to lose 10 pounds. So what's the shape of that? What's the shape of your attention? And what's the shape of that concept that is catching your attention? So it's almost like it's redirecting that flow of attention, and maybe even redirecting isn't correct. Maybe, or accurate, whatever. Maybe it's more like it is changing or transforming your attention. Maybe that's a more accurate analogy here, because your attention is on something, then I keep wanting to say redirect. So maybe it's both. And then it redirects to this ad that says want to lose 10 pounds. But in that redirection, the quality, the nature of your attention changes, because then it's focusing on this concept of losing 10 pounds. And that becomes the lens and the quality of your attention. And the more you can perceive these things, and again, asking questions like, what would the shape of this be? That gives you more mastery and more agency in life. Because most people go about life, things are catching their attention, and they don't even realize it. They're basically just like in hypnosis and constantly programmed by whatever gets thrown at them. And they walk around like this, and that's why it's so easy to control so many people and push their buttons and things like that, because they're on autopilot. So again, I don't have answers for what the shape of your attention is or what the shape of an ad is. It's more about the question and the exploration, because once you perceive that, then you're more aware. And again, when you're aware, that opens up agency. Let's actually play that out before I wrap this up. So let's say you become aware that your attention got caught, your attention locked in to the ad about losing 10 pounds. When you're aware of that, you might make the choice like, okay, yeah, I want to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to do that. So then you commit, and if you follow through with awareness, then guess what? Then you are intentionally creating maybe a diet commitment, a workout commitment as well. You're like, okay, I found this workout plan, and you're going through this whole process with intentionality and awareness, and you're committing to that workout plan. So you're following through. That awareness and intention is helping you follow through. But let's say with so many people, if the billboard just catches your attention, you're still in the same state that you actually want to lose 10 pounds, but you're not developing your awareness. You're not aware of your awareness. Guess what? That billboard catches your attention. You say, oh yeah, I want to lose 10 pounds. And then the next thing catches your attention, and then you're in the next direction, whatever that may be, the next billboard, someone calls you, you get distracted by social media, you watch the news, your attention is just getting scattered all around. So this is why it's so crucial. If you want any agency over your life, if you want sovereignty on the realist level, this is crucial, to be aware of your awareness. And intentionally move through life that way, and be aware of your attention, and to direct your attention into productive things that you actually want to do, that are in alignment with your higher calling, your purpose. And awareness is the foundation of it, and maybe the foundation of everything. And I'll wrap it up here. Thanks for joining me on this little exploration. I'm pleasantly surprised and with where it went. Okay, bye.